You know, I wish my brain didn't work the way it did sometimes, because as much as I hate Gundam Seed, the few things I like about it really stick out like a sore thumb, reminding me that the series could have been good, but was plagued at so many levels. However, I will happily gush about the things I really like about Seed, and today is the first one of those things, and the first of this new series where I'm gonna break down things I'm extremely nerdy about. Today, we take a look at the ZGMF-1017 Ginn. Before we get too far, let's go back to the beginning. It all started with the Zodiac Alliance of Free Treaties, more commonly known as Zaft or the Plants. They wanted to break away from the Earth Alliance because they felt they were being oppressed. Earth, quite obviously, took issue with this. After some shenanigans involving Earth throwing nuclear weapons at the colonies, the First Bloody Valentine War broke out. Zaft, however, had a problem very similar to the Principality of Zeon during the One-Year War. The Earth Alliance outnumbered them by a lot, and as such, the only solution was a quality over quantity approach. To this end, the design and concept of the mobile suit came to be after Zaft started experimenting. Soon after getting the Proto-Ginn online, Zaft upgraded it and began full mass production of the first ever combat-capable mobile suit in their arsenal, the Ginn. The design of the Ginn is rather unique compared to other general-purpose mobile suits we've seen, standing well over 20 meters tall with the very prominent sensor mohawk. Powered by a standard battery setup, this 78.5 metric ton mech is very versatile in its armament and capabilities. The large winged backpack give it ample thrust-to-weight ratio, and the solid sturdy design gives it good survivability. However, its most telling feature is the armament and weapons, which really goes to show what Zaft envisioned the Ginn doing when they created this machine. The Ginn's standard armament includes the MAM-3 Heavy Blade, a pretty solid sized mobile suit sword, as well as the the MMI M8A3 76mm Heavy Assault Machine Gun. And for future reference, yeah, a lot of these weapons have really long-winded model numbers. Just roll with it. These weapons were made with the Alliance's Mobius mobile armors in mind, allowing Zaft to keep up with the smaller crafts. These were actually so effective that the Ginn actually achieved a 5-to-1 kill ratio against these nimble mobile armor. Meanwhile, the other weapons seemed designed for anti-ship combat to counter the large fleets the Alliance had at hand, including the M66 Canis short-range guided missile launcher, armed with 2 large guided missiles as well as 2 small guided missiles. The Barris Kai heavy ion cannon, the only beam weapon the Ginn was capable of using due to it having its own generator, and the Caddis 500mm sniper rifle for long-range engagements, as well as the 3-tube Pardis guided missile launchers mounted on its legs. These last few weapons really put into perspective how Zaft thought the war would go. Only 2 of the weapons in the Ginn's arsenal seem to be anti-mobile suit weapons, or at least considered those. Though, in all fairness, a bazooka shot is more than enough to take out most mobile suits. Just ask the Dom. Ginn served as the backbone of Zaft's forces well into the late stages of the First Bloody Valentine War, even though it was considered relatively outdated due to the fact that most mobile suits at this point in time were armed with beam weapons. Later on, during the Second Bloody Valentine War, the Ginn would serve as a backline unit, serving alongside other units that were considered very outdated at this point in time, due to the fact that the newer Zaku Warrior series had taken its place on the front lines. However, Zaft would not be the only faction to utilize the Ginn, as it became a very common export for them to sell to other companies and people. Individual pilots and small mercenary factions made use of the Ginn and often modified them to great extent, with some being more radically modified than others. As for my 2 cents, I really enjoy the design. It truly shows how Gundam Seed could have been interesting and different compared to other Gundam series, only to have that very good thing ruined in some way. In this case, the Ginn and its fellow unique Zaft units were phased out by generic One-Year War ripoffs. Hope you all enjoyed this little bit different piece of media. As for changes on the channel, well, I'm going to be doing a lot more streams now over on my Twitch, so if you want to go check that out, please do. I will try to stream weekly at the very least, maybe even twice per week if I'm lucky. But, until next time, like, comment, subscribe, do all the good stuff. This is Nerd Trooper, signing off.